Hello and welcome to Orchids 365. This video is going to be a little bit different. I'm showing you a before picture of one of my Vandas that's really big and full of roots, and Mr. 365 has volunteered to do the demo so that I can accurately move the phone around the camera so you can get a better look, because if I were to set it on a tripod it would be a little more difficult for me to show you closer up. So I have been working on this for a couple of weeks, if not months now. My Vanda sleeves have done really well. However, sometimes when people buy Vandas that are already this grown into their basket, they may be a little scared, you know, because the roots are just all over the place and they just don't feel comfortable, you know, cutting the basket, or maybe they're afraid they're gonna break the roots, and that's perfectly normal. So I devised a bigger Vanda model where I can open it, where I say we, because it's teamwork. It's one thing to dream something up and then make it come to life, and it's very exciting to be showing you this. This is one of my prototypes. So as you can see, we already used the wires that we were hanging it with. We just took them off, and when you have those Vandas, you do not want to touch the basket. And it's okay, because what this does, it snaps into place. And just like the other model, you can slide the wire right through the hole and it'll just be shut tight. You don't have to worry about it opening. This Vanda, I mean, it's not a big Vanda, but the roots are definitely all over the place. So, you know, for these situations, I love using these leaves. I love having a pop of color in my garden, which is why I started all of this. And even when I don't have flowers, so I thought, okay, if they're in these, you know, ugly little baskets, I want to be able to put them in there and even straighten them up and whatever. So, and this is a very important part right now, because we're showing you how we're shutting it. It only opens on that one corner, right? But they all work the same. So we're going to just use the same wire, and you are going to run it right there. And you're going to just make sure it comes down all the way on the other side, depending on how long you want your cable to sit. So I'm just gonna let you see how the bottom, you can just bend it so it'll hold in place. You can bring it out more if you need to. It's just depending on how high, how low you want it to sit. Then you're gonna go ahead, and the reason we did this side first was because it's the one that opens. So you want to do that one first, so you don't have to be wrestling the Vanda constantly in place. So now you're gonna just keep going and run it down the other sides. Do the same thing, fold the wire. And again, these wires can be very unforgiving, so be very careful when you do this. And if you want to wear garden gloves, you know, go for it. I usually do, because I have sensitive skin and these things really get me fast. So now we flipped it over to the other side, and we're gonna just go ahead and repeat the same thing. And should be smooth. I'm gonna start selling these in person in September. I've already went ahead and listed some on my store. Now, if you do order them by mail, they're gonna come with a piece of filament going right through the part that opens. You can just slip it right out. The reason I'm going to be doing this is, you know, to secure it in the shipping and make sure that it gets to you, you know, safely. So if you do get it by mail, you're gonna notice there's gonna be a piece of filament running right through the opening part, keeping it closed, and you can just remove it and work with your Vanda, because every Vanda is different. They have different growing patterns. Some grow huge, some stay compact, but it just depends on what stage you purchase your Vanda. So I want to make sure for my customers that love my Vanda sleeves, you have options for these other unruly Vandas with these beautiful roots. So we've already secured the wire. Okay, so now the tricky part is you want to see, make sure everything is secured down there. So what I'm doing in this case is I'm securing it with a little green garden wire. You really don't have to, but I always do. Just going that extra step, just because it hasn't acclimated yet, and I'm thinking, what if it rains? And then it rains really hard and it falls through down the bottom. So I'm getting that garden, see? And I'm just running it through the bottom, through the basket, and securing it in place. You can always snip this off after, but that's just an extra step, that depending on the plant. So now you see that I have to hold it up and I have to straighten it up a bit. but this is the general idea of what I'm working with. I hope that this video has been helpful. Please feel free to give me any feedback, ask me any questions, and this is the final product. Thank you. Happy growing.